Hi folks, in this video, we're going to talk about 4 major changes or updates you should start seeing in your QuickBooks Online. Before we get started, take a moment to check out my new podcast that I'm doing with my friend Alicia Katz-Pollock. It's an audio-only podcast, and we do deep discussions around QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, the entire QuickBooks Intuit ecosystem. And we discuss things already live in QuickBooks Online or things that are coming in the near future. So if you like this type of updates, definitely check out the podcast. Anyway, let's jump right to it. We're going to start with the left navigation bar. Probably the biggest change you're expecting to see is going to be a big sign on the left navigation bar that says, try our new menu. And if you don't see that, that's okay. Some people don't see that. I'm just going to press X. You can scroll all the way down or check out the menu settings button in the bottom, and you can click on that menu settings button, and then you can click on where it says check it out right there where it says try a new menu. So either way, you're going to see the new navigation bar. Now, you won't see an immediate change right away. It won't be that big of a difference if you're already using the accountant view of the classic left navigation bar. But if you were using the business view, you will see that big change. Now, let's go back for a second. I want to click on the menu settings one more time and then click on switch back. So we're going to go back to the old menu and we're going to switch to the business view just so you can see and contrast that difference, because just in case you might be having that view currently. So I click on the gear menu on the top right of the screen, and then I click on switch to business view so we can see the business view mode. And if your left navigation bar looked like this, essentially when you clicked on any of the options here, you see sort of like a little slide inside of the same left navigation bar. And if you move your mouse to the right, to your left, you kind of see that sort of sub-slide go back and forth. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the old business view because that was just a horrendous left navigation bar. I don't think anybody actually really liked it. But I do want to contrast for the folks that were already using the accountant view that are now switching to this new sort of consolidated view, because there are some small changes worth mentioning. So right now I am in the sort of the old accountant view, and this is the order: overview, dashboard, tasks, banking, sales, customers and leads, cash flow, expenses, etc. Okay. And if you are in QuickBooks Online Advanced, you see the overview button. If you're in QuickBooks Online Simple Start, Essentials, or Plus, you might not see the overview button. So some of these things are also version specific. Anyway, so you're seeing the old view on accountant mode or an accountant view. I'm going to switch to this new view that you should start getting access to. And the major, most significant change that you will see is now you're going to see bookmarks in the top. So prior to this change, the bookmark options were in the bottom. So if you don't want to see any bookmarks, you can click on the little caret and you can collapse it. And then all you're going to see is a little line that says bookmarks, and it would just be there collapsed. You actually do not need to put anything in that bookmarks. If I actually click on the pencil icon next to bookmarks, I can uncheck the 2 things that are there, click on save, and then my bookmarks are basically empty. So even if I click on that little caret to expand it, I'm not going to see any bookmarks. I'm just going to see a button that says add bookmarks. Now, unfortunately, you don't have the option to remove bookmarks altogether. Like, I wish you had the option to just turn that off, or, if you wanted to have it in the bottom versus the top, that's it. This is what the new navigation bar looks like. You're going to see that bookmarks option in the top, and we'll discuss how to use that in a second. Now, let's go down to the menu, then sort of the new menu option. So we start with dashboard, and essentially what happened is some of the cash flow stuff that used to be in the old navigation bar under a menu called cash flow, such as cash flow and planner, has now been moved into this dashboard menu here. So getting things done and business overview was already in the main dashboard area from the old menu, but now they moved the 2 cash flow sub options in here. So all 4 of these are sort of report style or dashboard style screens. That's okay. Then we have tasks. Tasks is only available in the advanced edition of QuickBooks Online anyway. That has not been changed, so that's pretty much there. And then another major change is this one called transactions. So prior to this change, this used to be called banking. And inside of it, you would see bank transactions, app transactions, receipts, reconciled, and rules. And now under this new design, chart of accounts has now been moved into transactions. Why? I couldn't tell you what a chart of account had to do with transactions, but that's just where they put it. So you used to have to go into, I believe, accountant or accounting to see chart of accounts. Now it's inside transactions. Then there's a new menu called advanced accounting. And in advanced accounting, I assume they're going to add all the features are going to be only in the advanced version of QuickBooks Online. So the fixed asset manager, the new fixed asset manager, it's only available in the advanced version of QuickBooks Online. I'm going to make an entirely different video dedicated to that. And that's definitely a topic that we discussed in detail in our podcast as well. Then under sales, nothing has changed here. So the same thing that used to be there, overview, all sales, invoices, customers, products and services, that has not changed. Under expenses, there is a small change. So overview expenses, expense claims, which is only available in the advanced edition, by the way, bills, vendors, and contractors, that was already in the old expenses option, but now mileage has been put under expenses. So mileage used to be its own sort of menu item, and I kind of like that, right? Because I don't like having a menu item by itself or something minor like mileage. So that has been moved under expenses. Customers and leads, this is the same. This has not been changed. You got the customers and you got marketing. Marketing, basically, it's a way for you to sign up for MailChimp, which is an additional service. And just keep in mind that this customers option inside customer and leads is the same thing as the customers options inside sales. That has not changed. Then under that, we get reports, reports and performance center, the same two options you used to get with the old edition of the reports. Payroll, employees, contractor, and workers' comp, same exact thing. Time, same exact thing. Nothing has changed there. And then budgets and projects and workflows, those used to be on their own as well. That has not changed at all. Taxes has not changed. My account has not changed. Now, what you are going to see that's slightly different is now you're going to see an option called banking services. And in here, they're going to put QuickBooks checking. So they used to put this under an option called cash flow. Now it's put under banking services, which I kind of like. And then we have capital in there. And then we have PPP Center. So capital used to be under its own option called capital. And PPP Center is something that's still there for some reason, but something that should be irrelevant at this point. And then commerce and apps, these two things really haven't changed. So that's pretty much, in summary, what you expect to see. I personally like this. I think that what's causing the most controversy in our Facebook groups and in sort of the chatter of the QuickBooks consultants, accountants, and pro advisors is the change from banking to transactions. To me, I don't care whether they call it banking or transactions. I just hope they don't change the name too often. But this is what it's called now. It's called transactions, no longer called banking. That it's usually what's confusing some people with this new menu. Now, a couple of things that is important to mention with this overall overhaul of the menu is sometimes there are options here that you want to access quickly. For example, let's say that you generally want to get to contractors quickly, let's just say that. So what you could do is you can come here under bookmarks, open that option there and click on add bookmarks. And then you can search contractors in here. And then you put a little checkbox on that. And then you're bringing that option all the way up because let's say you access that a lot. And let's say we also access budgets a lot. And we also access bank transactions a lot. So you can select the things that you access the most. And you can also change the order based on how quickly you access these things. Or how often you access them, or what's your preference, and then we click on save, and then now they're under bookmarks, and that can be collapsed, that can be expanded, and that can be totally customized. Now under the main menu, what's really cool also, you can also customize the menu as well. So we click on the pencil, we can actually get rid of some things. So for example, let's say I'm never going to use live bookkeeping, and I'm never going to click on my accountant, and I'm never going to go to apps, I'm never going to go to e-commerce or to commerce or banking services. And I can just click on save, and that basically makes my menu a little bit smaller. But when I scroll down, we're going to see an option called more, and all the things that I got rid of, it was pretty much just tucked in under more. So it's going to be up to you to be able to do that. If I go and edit this menu one more time, I could also change the order. So for example, if I want to see transactions all the way to the top, because I do that a lot, or maybe I go to reports and put that all the way to the top, and then do, let's say, sales to the third, and then I click on save, then it changes the order of the menu. Now, if you messed it up or removed things or changed the order, you can always click on the pencil and then click on reset default menu, and that will also always send you back to sort of the default settings when it comes to that. So that's pretty much all you need to know on the left navigation bar. Another sort of minor change that you're going to see is the relocation of the subscription and billing page. So generally, if you wanted to go upgrade or downgrade your version of QuickBooks or change your credit card number so you can pay with a different payment type, that sort of thing, you would click on the gear menu, and then you would click on account and settings. And then in account and settings, you would go to the second tab under company that said billing and subscriptions. But that now has been moved. Right now, actually, you might, if you log in now, you might get this little sort of refresh screen that will send you straight to where you're supposed to go. And this is where you would go subscribe, unsubscribe, change your credit card, add services, that sort of thing. Now, to get to this screen, right now what they've done, which is really awesome, is you click on the gear menu, and then under profile is right there under profile, subscriptions and billing. So it's essentially, they just made it much quicker for you to get into the screen. That's it. That's the only change there. Okay, let's move on to the third major change or improvement, which is your ability to import budgets. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click on budgets on the left navigation bar. And if you're using QuickBooks Online Plus or Advanced, now you can import a budget from Excel. So I'm just gonna click here where it says import budget. And then notice that in the import budget screen, you get to first choose the fiscal year that you want to import the budget for. So let's say I want to import a budget for 2024. And then this is really cool. You can download a P&L budget sample. Now, to be clear, you cannot import a balance sheet budget. You can only do a profit and loss budget. That's the only thing that's available right now anyway. So when you download the P&L profit and loss sample, eventually you get this spreadsheet that basically shows your entire chart of accounts here on the left-hand side or in the A column. And then you can put all your numbers here in Excel, and you might have already a different spreadsheet with those numbers. You can then copy and paste, but it's really neat. You can just come in here and enter your numbers, the numbers that you want to enter in your budget. And I'm just going to add some numbers here random so you can kind of see the effect here. So I'm just going to bring in, let's say this is my budget here. I'm just going to go ahead and save that. And then I'm going to go back into QuickBooks Online, and I'm going to click on Upload Budget, grab the exact same file that I was just manipulating in Excel, and then click on Next. And then you're going to see basically a spreadsheet of everything that you had in your Excel file pretty much dumped into QuickBooks Online. Now, a couple of really cool things about this is you can collapse any of the parent accounts. So this navigation, it's really neat, really easy to work with. You can check these if you want to. If you want to individually do batch actions like clear the data or copy reference data. So if you wanted to overwrite what you imported from the Excel spreadsheet and then basically duplicate whatever's on the reference data, we'll discuss that in a second. You can do that. Now up here you see copy reference data. If you uncheck that, you're not going to see basically a reference column in there. But if you do select copy reference data, you get to choose if you want to use, for example, a previous year as an example to setting up their current year. So if you wanted for the future year, so if I want to do a budget for 2024, I can essentially use the same numbers for 2023, copy them over using this batch actions option to click on copy reference data, and then I can adjust manually any specific one that I want to change, or just import from Excel or a spreadsheet as we mentioned earlier. So this is really, really cool feature improvements here. This was only available in the advanced edition of QuickBooks Online. Now it's available in both Plus and Advanced. Plus they made it super friendly to work with. So a really cool one. And the last major change here has been adding the fixed asset manager that I discussed earlier. So I'm going to click here, it says Advanced Accounting, and click on Fixed Assets. And I will dedicate an entirely different video where I'll go into sort of really, really in-depth on what this is. But I want to quickly show you what the Fixed Asset Manager is. And again, this is only available in the advanced version of QuickBooks Online. So I want to add an asset. Let's say I bought a new truck, so a Ford truck 2023. And I can add any description that I want here. The purchase price, let's say this was $65,000. And the salvage value, this is something you would know. You have to talk to your accountant about this because this is not like a number that people just know. Okay, but salvage value is in 5 years when you're done depreciating, and how much can you sell this truck for. So let's say I can sell this truck for, in 5 years, for roughly $20,000. That would be my salvage value. And let's say that we started depreciating this truck on July 1st, which is when we officially bought it. And this is going to have a, let's say, a straight line type of depreciation. Again, this is an accounting concept. You might not know this if you're not an accountant, but this is really useful stuff. This is real stuff that we do in accounting. So we have 5 years here, and then QuickBooks will actually suggest you what the accumulated depreciation is. So I'll just put a number here, and then QuickBooks will actually tell me exactly what to put in there. Under asset account, I'm going to put, let's say, this should be under my vehicles asset, and then the depreciation account, I should have a depreciation expense account, and then I should have an accumulated depreciation. And that's pretty much it. So once I click on save, it creates it. Then it tells me, hey, you're supposed to have $1,500 depreciated by now. So you just change that number there. It's really cool. It basically tells you what number to put there. Technically, it's not even needed. They should just put it for you automatically, but that's how it is now. So we're going to go ahead and click on save, and that creates the fixed asset schedule. And it's already assuming that all the way up to the point that I created this depreciation has already been put into QuickBooks. So moving forward, what QuickBooks is going to do is it's going to automatically create a journal entry to depreciate the asset and reduce the book value of the asset for you. So essentially, moving forward, and it tells you right here, starting September 30th, QuickBooks is going to automatically create a journal entry to depreciate the asset. So that's something that accountants have been looking for forever, and we're going to continue to explore as they improve this feature on what works and what doesn't work. Again, if you like this video and you use QuickBooks Online and you want to be up to date on all the things that QuickBooks Online does, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the video, hit like, put in the comments, did I cover everything? Did I not cover something enough? Did you like any of these new features? Are you seeing them in your own version of QuickBooks Online? I would love to know how relevant this video is to you. And again, make sure you subscribe to the new podcast if you want to every week learn new things about QuickBooks Online and new things that QuickBooks Online is doing and changing. Anyway, I hope you like this one, and I'll see you on the next one.